To get a clear view of Hungary's relations with its neighbors, we have to go back to the early 1900s. At that time, Hungary was part of the dual monarchy of Austro-Hungary. It was one of the great powers of Europe when the First World War started. But unfortunately for them, they joined the Central Powers and fought alongside the German Empire and lost the war. Hungary suffered severe territorial losses after the Treaty of Trianon. They lost more than half of their population and 2/3 of their territory. Half of the lost territory was ceded to the newly emerged countries such as Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, and even to Hungary's defeated fellow Austria. The other half was ceded to the old existing Kingdom of Romania. The easternmost part of today's Ukraine, Zakarpattia, was within the territory ceded to Czechoslovakia and called Carpathian Ruthenia at that time. This partitioning, the Treaty of Trianon, traumatized the whole Hungarian nation. They never accepted it. In fact, they did in the paper, but never in their homes, schools, universities. They pushed for the irredentist Greater Hungary ideology, and finally in 1938, before the Second World War started, they again allied with the Germans and managed to get back some of the territories, including Carpathian Ruthenia. But again, unfortunately for them, the Germans lost again, and Hungary's borders were returned to their pre-1938 lines. Until this day, they never gave up on their Greater Hungary cause. As a matter of fact, it became more prevalent. The partitioning of Hungary after the First World War still grieves many Hungarians. It's like a collective trauma among them. They are obsessed with thinking about the Treaty of Trianon and their territorial losses. The images of Greater Hungary dating from 100 years ago can be seen everywhere in Hungary, on car bumper stickers, t-shirts, roadside maps, etc. But this trauma, this irredentist view, started to become more serious and formal after Hungary's populist far-right leader Viktor Orban came to power in 2010. Since then, Hungarian nationalism has been on rise. In 2011, the new Hungarian Constitution declared the date Trianon Treaty was signed, June 4, 1920, one of the greatest tragedies of Hungarian history. And from that year on, they also started substantially funding Hungarians in neighboring countries. Between 2011 and 2019, one Hungarian government agency alone, the Gábor Bethlen Fund, approved grants of at least 1.1 billion euros to Hungarian minority organizations abroad, including those in Ukraine's Zakarpattia Oblast. The money sent through Gábor Bethlen Fund flows mainly into Romania, Slovakia, Ukraine, and to a lesser extent into Serbia, Slovenia, and Croatia. On May 5, 2020, Mr. Orban posted his support for students taking their examinations, but with an extremely controversial image. It was an image of a Greater Hungary, which millions of Hungarians hope to see in their lifetime. The image freaked out Hungary's neighbors and triggered an instant backlash. 1 month later, on June 4, 2020, exactly 100 years after the Trianon Treaty was signed, a monument of national solidarity was opened in Budapest, right in front of the parliament. The names of the 12,485 cities and villages of a Greater Hungary are engraved on its walls. But it's not just Orban and the Hungarian government pursuing these policies. Orban has won 5 terms, the last 4 of which were consecutive. The elections were not rigged, people simply voted for him. For example, in the last election, 6 parties came together to form a coalition against Orban's Fidesz party, but Orban still won with a crashing victory. It means that people love him, people love what he does and his irredentist policies. In a 2020 survey by the Pew Research Center, 67% of the Hungarians said they thought neighboring countries really belonged to them. It was the highest share of any of the 19 European states surveyed.